can assure you that all of them are absolutely awesome, and they truly live the lifestyle of passion, health, and fitness. So, good. First up, we have founder Ava Diamond, and also good friends, actually, Ava Diamond and Linda Stevens. Ava has been empowering people to transform their lives in mind, body, career, and romance for over 20 years. Her Diamond Mind strategies, coaching for developing the mindset that matters, is now used all over the world, including by our U.S. military. Ava Diamond's Mind strategies is a cornerstone of the QueenBe Midlife Mastery Program. QueenBe co-founder Linda Stevens brings her education and experience to the QueenBe program as the master nutritionist for helping women to understand their unique physical needs in midlife. Her education, passion, and expertise inform readers through her internationally published nutrition articles in several top health and fitness publications. Linda provides nutrition and fitness coaching as the body part of the QueenBe Mind Body Empowerment Program. QueenBe expert Monica Brandt is not only a fitness icon, but on a mission herself for empowering women to find their way into fitness. She introduces women to new fitness endeavors and challenges them to discover their physical courage and strength. Monica is an international fitness celebrity, athlete and model, complete health, fitness, and life coach, IFBB Fitness Olympia champion, WBFF two-time world figure champion, USA TF Masters Sprint champion. Queen expert Heather Ann Havenwood is a serial entrepreneur and is regarded as a top authority in digital marketing, sales, coaching, and online publishing business strategies. Heather Ann has been named the top 50 must-follow women entrepreneurs for 2017 by the Huffington Post. She is also called Chief Sexy Boss from her Amazon bestseller, Sexy Boss. How female entrepreneurship is changing the rule book and beating the big boys. She empowers the QueenBe audiences with professional mastery, and she talks about how to sell yourself and your business with confidence. QueenBe expert Batya Maman, owner of Social Connect, is a national social media guru. She joins the QueenBe team with more than her expertise in how to maximize social media for your professional benefits. However, Batya shares her personal and compelling story of overcoming adversity as a woman in midlife. She talks about how to go from nothing to all you want in life. QueenBe expert Stacey Battat. Stacey has been an educator and public speaker for almost 20 years. She recently earned a graduate degree specializing in sexuality with additional training in sex therapy and life coaching. She helps women ignite their playful spirit, love imperfect imperfections of their bodies, and embrace their sexual desires. On that note, I bumped into Stacey a little while ago on playfulness. She was coming back from pole dancing. So I was going to try to entertain my playfulness, but I'm going to put that off for a little while. With that said, welcome QueenBe.
Yes, you are. Yep. I'm not sure how Rob hit our things here. Okay. Welcome to QueenBe. Ladies, midlife need not be a crisis anymore. Welcome to Midlife Creation. The QueenBe program is about helping you to maximize yourself and grow to your fullest potential in mind, body, career, and romance. So here we are. It's time to begin to have a clearer understanding of who you are, what you're meant to be, the direction of your personal, professional, and relationship lives. This is a little bit more about what the QueenBe program is. It's about believing, which is part of the mindset work, because if you don't believe in the power of possibility, in who you can become, you're not going to get to the become part. And to become fully confident and capable in the boardroom, the bedroom, the family room, and every room you walk into is what you will accomplish through the QueenBe coaching program. This is a time to launch. Midlife is actually the second launching of your life. The first one happens when you're 20-something, right? And we think we know everything until we realize how much we don't know. And I have a few 20-something-year-olds myself, and they're doing a stellar job of not knowing a lot and doing very well anyway. That said, they will be brilliant when they're 40-something, like the rest of us in midlife, and use all of their experiences and wisdom, what they've known about themselves, what they need to know about themselves, to create the next chapter. The second launching is incredibly exciting. But what do you need for the second launching? Somehow, you need to have a slide that goes. There you go. For the second launching, you need a mindset that allows you to do so, allows you to lift off, to become unstuck, to raise up parts of self that have gone dormant. You're going to hear, if you come back tomorrow, if you come to a program at 3 o'clock in the afternoon right here in this room, about a transformation challenge that is taking off and becoming a global event. Midlife is your opportunity for transformation. Transformation doesn't have to be one of just physical greatness. It can be anything that you do to take what's deeply held inside of you, maybe gone dormant over the years, and you bring it to the surface. And you learn how to exercise new parts of self. I'm 53 years old, and my goal is to never stop growing. I never want to feel finished. I have a father who's 80 years old and is still teaching at Ivy League schools, still traveling all over the world. He's never done. And it's going to keep him living longer and stronger. Transformation is a part of every part of life, whether we like it or not. If we fight it, we stay in the coal part of life, the darker part. But if my last name is Diamond. I'm going to use a lot of Diamond references. Hope you don't mind. But change is mandatory for extraordinary results. So this is it. This is the time to reclaim, reinvent, or reinvest. But first, you have to really look at what you're made of. This is a tricky business, to really reflect on who you are and what you're made of, because a lot of us have been influenced so much by people and places and things around us that we've lost sight of our core power, which we're going to talk about in a minute. But becoming authentic is what happens when you gain insight into who you are and what you want to become and develop a plan of action to get there. I call the internal resources the backbone of our core power. Internal resources are what you know, your personality traits, your skills, and the information that you have beyond just what you know from experience. And it's not a new concept, because all the way back to Greek theology, he who voluntarily confronts tremendous odds must have great, very great, internal resources to draw upon. It's called resilience, and it allows us to deal with hard things and keep going and learn from them. So core work is not, yes, that's me. Core work is not just about your midsection. Core work is about the core power you get from being in touch with your values, your attitudes, your beliefs, those things that stabilize us and lift us. So here's one of the Diamond Mind strategies that I use in my Diamond Mind coaching, which is the cornerstone of QueenBe program. We need to know that passion and purpose trump quitting every single time. Very often, we aren't aligned with our own purpose, and we lose our passion for what we're doing, and therefore, we start to quit before we even get started half the time. Knowing what your purpose is, here's the Diamond Mind strategy. What I do with all of my clients is I help them to develop a really strong relationship with their why. Why is this goal important to you? Whether it's a fitness goal or a career goal or a relationship goal, why is it important to you and why now? Because then you can create what I call a personal mission statement. Your personal mission statement is your guiding principle, your mantra for every day. And I developed one when I was in my late 30s and I was going through some very challenging times with death and divorce and destruction from all of the above. And my personal mission statement sounded something like this: I will not let anything interfere with my happiness today, which is ridiculous when you're dealing with death and destruction, right? That said, what I knew what it meant to me. It wouldn't be that I would be yippee, skippy, happy all the time. It meant that I would find a way to get to neutral zone. I'd feel sad. I'd feel what I need to feel in the face of all those challenging things, but I would move myself to neutral as quickly as possible so that I can become joyful and to be the best that I can be, even in the face of hard times. This was actually Maya Angelou's mission statement. So I used my mission statement each day. I would think about it in the morning when I woke up. I would think about it throughout the day. I will not let anything interfere with my happiness today. And I can tell you that in my life during those very challenging times, it allowed me to pause, allowed me to regroup and be resilient to the point where I reclaimed my whole self. The purpose of a mission statement that gives you purpose is to create congruence between your intentions and your actions, to exercise your clarity and enhance your conviction. Because clarity and conviction are what I call the 2 C's of success. In addition to internal resources to reaching your goals, external resources are important. Now, something that happens for a lot of us who are at this point in life where we do have that wisdom, we do have a lot of experiences, it becomes harder sometimes to ask for help. Trainers, coaches, teachers, mentors, all of those people are people that we can count on as external resources. We all need our internal resources and our external resources for transformation. So the QueenBe team, is blurry. The QueenBe team is really blurry. I'm not sure why. Yeah, you can see their faces here. What we have to offer you is opportunity to learn more about the different areas of expertise that this panel has. We also can connect you with people and places and things for other kinds of resources if you have them. And so we encourage you to write to us at queenbelife@gmail.com so we can help you with your launching. For now, we are going to move on to midlife nutrition.
Just push the little arrow. Is that what we're using for this one? Spacebar, great. All right. Good afternoon, ladies. As you all know, I'm Linda Stevens. I hold my master's degree in nutrition. I write for Muscle and Fitness, Hers, Muscle and Fitness, Oxygen magazines, and currently I've just contributed to Strong magazine, which is a new women's fitness magazine. So I also blog for them as well. So you can find a lot of my stuff online if you're interested in reading more about nutrition. But I wanted to speak to you today about midlife mastery and midlife nutrition. And I know Ava went into already what QueenBe Life is. But we're going to offer online coaching so that we can reach many of you and help a lot of you at an affordable way for all of you. So I want to give you just a little bit of background on myself and what my midlife journey has been, and I won't bore you with all the details, but I'm 48 years old. I decided to reinvent myself when I came into my 40s. I started competing as an NPC amateur figure competitor. And I decided I really liked it, so I kept pursuing competing. And I knew I wanted to turn IFBB pro, and I kept at it. And as hard as it was, it took me 4 years, but I eventually turned pro in 2014. So I'm an IFBB figure pro, and I'm getting ready now to compete in May. So the point to that is, a lot of people will say, you know, I'm too old to do this, or it's too late to start, or it's too hard to change, or whatever the excuse is. It's not, because I feel like I'm living proof, and all these women here on stage are living proof, and you'll hear all their stories today and tomorrow. And our point that we want to bring to you is that it's never too late to change. It's never too late to feel better. It's never too late to make a difference or go in a different direction. It's just a matter of how badly you want it and then setting a clear path to the goal that you want to achieve. So I also decided at the young age of 42 to go back to school after earning my National Academy of Sportsmen and Personal Training certification. I decided I wanted to take my training to another level. There are a lot of trainers out there. Some are great, some are okay, some aren't so good. But I wanted to differentiate myself. I wanted to be different. I didn't want to study nutrition online and get a certificate, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I just felt like I wanted to have education behind me. I wanted to be able to say, I have a master's degree in, so that when I talk to people or I write an article, people will pay attention because I've done the work, I've done the education, and I can back up what I say. So at 42, I went back to school and earned or worked towards my master's degree in clinical nutrition. And I was telling someone today, I'm not sure if it's anyone in this room, but taking biochemistry at the age of 42 was pretty challenging. And considering that I have my undergrad degree is in business, and I worked on Wall Street for 13 years in equity sales and trading. So that was my background. I came from a business background. And now all of a sudden I'm taking biochemistry and nutritional biochemistry. And my first exam, I earned an 81, and I was like, all right, I'm doing okay. This is good. I feel like, it's not a great grade, but I'm there. And then my second exam, I got a 50. And this is no joke. This is serious. And I cried. I cried actually for a little while. And I thought to myself, I'm either going to quit because this is hard and I'm not sure I can pass chemistry, or I'm going to do this. And I really had a dialogue with myself about it because I really thought about quitting because it was hard. And we talked this morning a little bit about failure, letting yourself fail. And I did, I failed. And I was trying to figure out if I was going to either continue to fail or if I was going to succeed. And I'm a very driven person. I'm very passionate about what I do. And I decided to get a chemistry tutor. That was after I cried and decided I was quitting, I decided, no, I'm getting a chemistry tutor. And I did. And we worked together for 2 semesters. And at every session, when we sat down in the library where I live, I would cry. And he would tell me to put my books aside, and he would say, we have to start every tutoring session with a therapy session. But, and we did. I'm like, I can't do this, I can't do this. He's like, yes, you can. He's like, you're a smart woman, you can do this. And we hit it. We balanced equations, I learned chemical pathways, and I did it. And he helped me 2 semesters, and then my final 2 chemistry semesters, I did it on my own, and I got A's in both classes. And I actually ended up graduating magna cum laude from grad school. So it was very challenging. I can't, and I'm sure you all have a story. And everybody knows whatever it is, something that really made you work hard or really made you search your soul to decide what it was that you wanted to do. Am I quitting or am I going forward? For me, I decided to quit, but then I decided I was going forward. So that's a little bit about me. What I want to do is talk a little bit off the cuff about nutrition. I'm going to give you a little bit of information, not too much, and you can certainly contact us more at queenbelife@gmail.com, and we have some information outside for you that you can take with you also. But this first slide is invest in your health. And that's extremely important. People don't realize how important nutrition is. And even if you don't exercise, you need to eat right. Because you need to fuel your body. It's a machine. It doesn't want processed foods. It wants whole foods, clean foods, good foods. And we all know, and I do it, when you go and eat a big burger and fries or greasy pizza or whatever it is, we all know how we feel, right? I can feel it right now. My stomach is like, oh. And you get that sensation. Maybe you get bloated. You just have a lot of digestive things that go on without going into detail. And you know how you feel the next day. You just feel off. You don't feel good. You're sluggish. Or if you go out and you drink a lot of wine or alcohol, you're out late and you're drinking. And it's hard to rally the next day. And the older we get, the harder it is to come back. It takes the next day. Like when we were younger in our 20s, boom, we were up. I remember working on Wall Street, and I didn't have kids, and we'd go out, take clients out 4 nights a week. We'd be in New York City drinking, eating. I'd get home at 2 in the morning. I'd get up at 5:30. I was back on the train to get back into the city for the research call in the morning. And I did it a lot. I could never do that now. That would kill me. I could never do that now. I'm in my pajamas by 9, and I'm up in the morning because I want to exercise. So I don't drink anymore because it just affects everything in a negative way. So you want to invest in your health. It's really important. What you put in is what you're going to get out. So you're going to put donuts and soda and pizza in, you're really probably not going to get a lot of quality out, and you're not going to look the way you want to look. If you put quality proteins in your body, quality carbohydrates, quality fats, and you get moving, you're going to feel way more energetic. You're not going to hit that wall at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and you're going to feel better. You're going to feel energetic. I never have that hitting the wall feeling at 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon because I fuel my body all day long. What I like to do with my clients is I have them eat every 3 hours or so, maybe 5 or 6 meals a day, depending on the person. Everybody's different. And it's just fueling your metabolism, giving your body fuel, just enough fuel, so that you can function and do the things that you need to do. And then you get hungry and you eat again, and you keep your body, your metabolism consistent, so you don't get those huge dips when you're hungry and you're starving, you hit the wall, you get a headache, you don't feel good, and you're just grabbing anything you can. Yes? Oh, okay. Anyways, so that's really important, that you fuel your body properly all throughout the day. You want to be the best version of yourself every day. This was me in July last year before one of my competitions. So, but the point is it's hard work to do that. But I do it because I love it. And it's for me, it's fun. I mean, not everybody wants to take it to that level, and I understand that. I work with people of all ranges of health and fitness, from beginner to competitors to athletes. But this is something that I like to do, and I feel it's just something that I enjoy. But as far as women's health goes, really briefly, as we age, we lose bone mass, we lose muscle mass, we carry more visceral fat around our midsection, our legs, our backside, and it's just basically all in how you fuel your body and how you move. And it's my job to teach you and others how to combat that so you feel good, so that you preserve bone mass, you build muscle as you get older, and that you don't store that fat. I have a lot of women clients that are perimenopause, in menopause, post-menopause, and they all say the same thing. I've got this here, and I can't get rid of it. I don't know what to do. And it's just a matter of supplementation, exercise, and moving. So basically, my goal for you today is to leave here listening to us and taking a little bit of knowledge with you and wanting to take it further. And hopefully, you'll contact us and we can help you more through our emails, through our YouTube channel, and through other ways that we're going to be able to get information to you. Yes, our workbook will be out front. But that's the most important thing that I want to drive home to you today, is that if you fuel yourself properly, you will feel better. I used the analogy this morning to someone about a Ferrari. You're not going to drive your Ferrari to the local gas station and put 87 octane in it. Absolutely not, right? Because it's a performance vehicle. Your body's the same way. Your body is a performance vehicle, and you need to put high octane, high quality foods in your body so that you get the performance out of it. And I tell you, there's nothing better for me, any amount of money, than when a client listens to the guidelines that I've given them and they follow through, and they come into me when I see them after a week or 2 weeks, and they've lost 3 pounds, 5 pounds, 6 pounds, 10 pounds, just by changing their diet. And they're so happy and they're excited, and they want more, and they start exercising and even more. And you watch someone transform, and it's addicting. So it can be done. It's not that hard, and with the right people to support you and help you, you can easily change your body and feel better. There's no reason why you can't feel great 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. I'll close with telling you this. I have a 15-year-old son and a 13-year-old daughter, and I tell them all the time, when it's my time to go to the nursing home or to the next place, put me in a place that has a gym, because I'm not going to be the mom. I'm not going to be the mom playing bingo. I'm going to be lifting weights, and I'm going to be on the treadmill. And they're like, yeah, Mom, we know. But it's the truth. It's the truth. I plan on working out forever until I'm not here anymore. So it can be done. It's what's going to keep you young, ladies. Exercise, fountain of youth. I tell you, it works. Look at Christy Brinkley at 63. I mean, she's, if not an inspiration, I don't know who else is, but it can be done. We're awesome. We're just getting started. That's how I feel. I'm 48 and I'm just getting started, so watch out. Yes. Excellent. And our next QueenBe expert is Batya. Sorry, I thought she was asking me a question. I'm like, yes.
Okay. Oh, I'm so sorry for being late today. Stacey and I, we left the room, and instead of making right, we make left, and we find ourselves in the garage. So we have to walk back. What's that? Oh, yeah, I feel this one. I'm about to faint. I'm not like Linda and Ava. I mean, I have not been in the gym for like a couple months now. I'm being online all the time. So, my name is Batya, and I'm a social media consultant. And I want to share with you today how I got into it. So, I moved to America in 2003 with 3 children and ex-husband. We were married until 2009. And in 2009, I decided to get divorced. I wasn't very happy, and I felt like I'm 35 years old, and I just don't know what happiness looked like. You know, I was married in the age of 18. And the age of 27, I already have 3 children, and every time you have a kid, you think, oh my gosh, I'm so happy. Well, kids bring happiness, and I love my children, and they're the best gift that I ever have in my life, but I didn't find what true happiness was. So I decided to divorce and look for it. So my ex-husband said, well, you want to get divorced, so here's the deal. You're going to say no to child support. You're going to say no to alimony, to car and house and everything else, and then you get your divorce. And I said, deal. So I signed out for everything. I know what I'm capable of doing. I have a very successful company before that called Batya Simply the Best. And at that company, I didn't have to speak English. I wasn't speaking English when I moved here. I didn't know how to read English or write English until 2011. And here we go, I'm divorced. So for a couple years, I have a company called Batya Simply the Best, and we do organize. We take people's closet, pantries, and garage, and we take picture before and after and make it beautiful. You don't have to say one word, just like, look, look. That's it. So it was easy. I survived a couple good years. I make good money, and then 6 months after my divorce, my driver license was expired, and I'm going to renew my driver license, and they told me, it's expired and you can't renew it. And I said, okay. So I'm calling my immigration lawyer, and he said, Miss Maman, we're very sorry, but we can't talk to you anymore. And I said, why is that? And said, your husband removed you from the case. So I said, okay, so what am I going to do next? And he said, you're going to have to find a new lawyer. So I'm calling another lawyer, and the other lawyer said, well, here's the good news and the bad news. The bad news, you're illegal in the country. And the good news is you can get married and get your paper. And I said, you know, I'm never going to get married for the paper. That is not an optional, because I left the man that I wasn't happy with just to find my own happiness, and now I'm going to get into something just for the paper that wasn't real to me. So instead of getting married, I decided to stay in America illegally, and I was like that for 3.5 years. Well, in 3.5 years, it was very difficult because I have 3 kids, growing-up kids, teenager, and I have no child support, no alimony, and since nobody born here, I was not even qualified for a government assistant. So I'm sitting home, I'm losing all the money from the previous company, and it took me 6 months to lose all the money because I saved a lot. And then one day, I don't have money to pay my electric bill, my water bill, and I'm losing literally everything I have. So I asked myself what I'm going to do. So I started calling nonprofit organization. Well, before that, my daughter came home from school one day, and she said, Mom, did you make something to eat? And I said, no. And she said, why is that? And I said, you know, I was on Facebook all day long, and I didn't realize it's already 3 o'clock. So she said, Mom, I can't believe that. I'm starving. I said, okay, I'm going to make you something to eat. But then I realized while I'm making food, I was on Facebook for almost 6.5 hours, and that's almost a full-time job. I have to find a way to convert it into an income. Since I cannot drive, I cannot go to work, and nobody will take me to work, I need to find a way to make money from home. And then Facebook come, and I said, okay, well, let's convert it into an income. So I got this idea. I'm calling nonprofit organization and said, my name is Batya, and I'm a social media expert, not knowing nothing about social media. And I said, I wanted to do your social media for free. So social media in 2010 was not so popular. It was just the beginning, and every nonprofit organization in my community, and I live in Naples, Florida, Rob know, there's 400,000 populations and 240 nonprofit organization. So I started taking the call, and they said, oh, sure, we would love for you to do our social media for free. Yes, do it. So what I did, since I did not know really well English, is just go to their event, take picture with the key people in the room, and upload on social media, and that's it. That's my social media. And then I create an event and invite people to event and start asking people for donation. And the reaction that I got from it was so amazing. And we got so many success action on raising money in the community just because those little things I was doing, that the donor that used to donate money to those organizations become my clients, and that's how I start my business. So I used to use taxi all the time, whatever. At some point, I make enough money, and I hired myself a driver for 3.5 years, and that was it. I remember when I had no electric and no water at home, I went to LA Fitness. I was not working out. I just want to take a shower and get ready to go and be in front of people. And then what I found out is to attract professional, you have to look like one, be one, or pretend you're one. And that's what I did. I predict who I wanted to be, and I become one. What I really did at that time was I choose to be me. I choose to be myself and not be independent on anybody. It's not like I have a problem with men. Don't take it like personally here, but I look at 3 of you. But the idea, after being married for 19 years, being Jewish Orthodox, coming from a very old-fashioned family, it was very difficult to adjust, especially when you're just in a country that is not yours. You're not legally here. You're not speaking the language. You don't have the right. You can't even deposit checks. Everything was difficult. Long story short, I decided to choose myself. I really believed in myself. I really believed that I'm a capable person and I'm going to make it. And I did make it. I would say the very first year of my business, as an illegal person in the country, my company was making $100,000. And I started going and giving more and more in the community. What I really did was I was always giving back to the community. From the very beginning, I started my business from greatness, from giving. And what I've learned and what I teach my clients these days is by giving, you create living. Most of my clients, 80% of my clients are dentists. And all they do is dentistry all day long. Dentists are great people, but they don't know nothing about dentistry. So they think, I want more patient. I want more patient, and all the time that they want more people to come in. And I said, if you want something from the community, you have to give back. And I help my clients not just to create social media, because social media is not what works for you, it's what you do to make it work. It's how you give back, is how you put yourself out there. I create a slide, but I really believe that the self-confidence is the new currency. This is the way to make money. And this year, I was a Distinctive Woman 2017. I was the one in 2016, and I also achieved a leadership call year in my county, which is the mayor in that group. And all I did is I put myself out there. Just so you know, I'm legal now. I have my visa. I have everything back. I'm not like that anymore. But it cost me almost $50,000 and a lot of believing in myself to get back everything that I deserve. And what I always tell people, if I did it in America as an illegal person in the country, nothing can stop you guys from doing the same. Thank you. Who's next? How do you go back here? There is no, oh, here we go. That's you? Israel? I came from the Holy Land to the land of opportunity. That's what I tell people all the time. If you land in America and you don't land in their money, then go back to your country. Here we go.
Okay, I'm the comic relief. Comic and hopefully helping you take a deep breath, because there are a lot of sexy people here. And, being sexy and dressing sexy, what I'd love to help you do today, because my specialty is mindful sexuality, which has a lot of playfulness to it in my book, is to realize that we can embrace our sexiness and own it in a different way. So that's what I'm going to talk to you about today. I only have 12 minutes. I could talk to you for 12 hours. And really, I'm just going to give you 6 guidelines, which I actually did not put up here. but I'm going to repeat them twice. So if you want that information, you could also talk to me afterwards, and I'm happy to talk to you about it. So the journey basically into someone's sensuality is really something that, believe it or not, we know, but we forget about, started when we were very young. It's about sensations. And if you think about your childhood, and you may reflect on this later, but when I think about my sensations and my visceral feelings as my first childhood memory, it was actually in the blackout of 1965. New York had a great blackout. And I remember I was 3 years old. I remember walking around with this candle in Riverdale in our apartment building and just feeling this excitement of meeting people and the flickering candle and the silence and just this darkness. And thinking of sensations as being a sensation scientist. And we lose that as we get older. We just lose it. So getting back to our sensations is part of what makes us a sensual human being. So my first tip is really to journey to your origins and become a sensation scientist again. The second tip is to play again. So the idea, I've actually been an educator for over 20 years, and I've worked with all ages, from seniors to teenagers. I work with a lot of women, and I still do some work with young kids, with preschoolers. And I love children and how playful they are. And if you think again about playfulness, it's not just about putting the fun between your legs, so I have fun with that. But the playfulness of being a child is about being present to like playing. The way children play is so beautiful when you watch them, and when we forget about that. So when some of us are moms, and I'm a mom of 3 children, grown up by now, we played with them on the playground. We played with them in the sand and in the snow. And then when they get older, we forget to play with it. We forget to play, period. Not just sexually, but play, period. So I try to help women kind of reignite that playful spirit. And it's one of the things that I love, because I felt like I've kept all the people in my life young with me, because I really do believe that playfulness is agelessness. I went to the wrong one. And also the idea of being your own kind of sexy. So the next tip, the second one was play again. The third one is getting into your own unique sexiness and dancing with that and finding your own practice. So I'm going to talk for a little bit about contemplative practice, because I meditated for quite a while, because I can be a little ADD and all over the place. So I decided I have to do some mindfulness training. And this was about 7 years ago, and I got into meditating. And, we all have very noisy brains. It's just what we do. We have monkey minds. It's hard to quiet it. Some people give up on meditation. But contemplative practice can be something that what I want to suggest that you can play with. And then you can develop your own unique way of moving, or of doing if you love yoga, you can do that. You can do walking. Meditation and contemplative practice can be something that we get into our bodies. So we decide to feel our bodies again and become more embodied internally, noticing those sensations, letting that energy shift, and just being aligned with what's possible, which is not always great. It's not always like clear mind, peace. We have a lot of stuff going on in our stressful lives. The idea that we give ourselves the time to have a contemplative practice, whatever that is what I suggest to you. So you choose for yourself whether you want to pursue yoga, you haven't done something to come out of your comfort zone in fitness, try something new so you shake it up. But then you give yourself the chance to be in your body, and not always about achieving. So we do a lot of achieving here at the Arnold Fitness Center. I'm a little bit more about being in your body and being mindful about what you feel in your body, so that you can experience shift and you can embrace that with compassion. And mindfulness is very much about compassion, not about judgment, rather really about this idea of kind of being fully in your body and just allowing it to say, if I get distracted, no big deal. No big deal. So if you're meditating, that smile, that bringing that lighthearted energy into you and saying, you know what, maybe today I just need to take a long walk and be with myself. It's hard to carve out the time, but that's exactly what I'm trying to advocate for, is that we don't do that. And women in particular, which is the fourth tip, the third is moving and contemplative practice, the fourth is self-care. Most women are serving others, And so by the time we reach midlife, I really propose to you that you look at ways not to be serving others, but really carving out the time just to really have that self-care time. And sometimes it'll be often here you'll hear about fitness. And so that's one way of self-care, but I still welcome you to open it up to more sensual and sensational exploration, because that's what makes it fun. And when we lose our sense of fun and we're all about the achievement, we're not really in our bodies of enjoying them. So giving yourself time and carving out that time for self-care. So I actually did so my background as an educator is also that I decided to study this holistic field called consciousness studies. And we studied an incredible diverse background in integrative psychology as well as quantum physics, but we also did mindfulness throughout the 2 years and how's that impact us. So the whole idea, I focused on sexual consciousness, and I had a few mentors in that field. But one of the mentors that I had, she talks about self-care. Dr. Tammy Nelson, she's an author and major author in the sex therapy field, and she talks about self-care and she talks about womanhood, and how as females we have these amazing sexual energy and chakra power. Our lower chakras are filled with, first of all, our sexual organs have 8,000 nerve endings. So that's like no one has that. So you should celebrate it. That's first of all. And the second thing is that we have, within that power of our lower chakras, we can bring so much good energy into that. That is where, as women, we birth from. We create life from. And that becomes creative. If we go back to that as we get older, we realize that could be our creative spirit, and it can empower a lot of our lives if we become more reflective of how to be more conscious of that area of our womanhood. So it's a big part of that self-care, and if women got back into their core, I really believe we would have more empowerment in the world. To really realize that we don't have to go one way, we can go much more circular and really offer a lot to this world. So that's the fourth tip. The fifth one is about flirting. Now this I love because, this is contrary to what most people think. We've created a narrative about flirting. And if you actually think about babies, they flirt. They're coy. They're like engaging you in the sweetest way that has no attachment. So the idea that we don't play and we don't flirt enough with ourselves without an agenda, we forget about that. So ways that you could flirt, women, is you can go commando and feel fun and sexy. No one else has to know it. You could buy new lingerie and feel fun and sexy, and no one has to know about it. You are flirting with yourself. That's one of the primary things I want to teach you. So the flirting is the fifth one. The sixth one is to practice being kind of more in your body. Now, practice, this is an interesting thing because the top 10 TED Talk speakers, her name's Ann Cuddy. She does the body language. Many of you know it. It's the Wonder Woman pose, right? So she talked about doing research on is practicing and pretending to be empowered going to help you feel empowered. And she totally claims that you can fake it till you become it. And one of my other mentors in the sexual consciousness field, Barbara Carellis, talks about faking it till you feel it. Now, I'm not talking about faking an orgasm. I'm really talking about we don't give our bodies enough attention. So that idea of practicing being in your body and your breath, which we don't spend time on, is huge. So just allowing you to feel like what is possible in my body. So I'm going to review those. That was my sixth one. I'm going to try to go back and give you the six again. And if you want to come talk to me, of course I mixed them up. If you want to come talk to me, I'll give you those 6 tips. So the first one was to play with your contemplative practice. Now another one was to take self-care. Another is to flirt with yourself. Another is to practice. And my first one I actually lost here, so I'm sorry. But what I want to really explain to you is that many women, many women in midlife and beyond, I work with them. I feel it. We have the best sex lives ever, and you can too.
Thank you, Stacey. Might I add that you've had a very long and healthy marriage to that? 27 years.
We're still playing.
They do. They play.
We play. I forgot a major thing, so I have one more minute. My husband is very into music. I'm very into dance. And I actually forgot to say something that I wanted to pay tribute to, so thank you for this 1 minute, is that I started dancing because my mom was a dancer. And it's 1 year now from her passing this week. And she was the most graceful human being, and she had the body of a dancer. And I forgot to say that what I really have loved about this whole pathway and journey I've been on is that I've had to embrace my unique sensuality, my dance, my body. And we don't all have a dancer's body, and we don't all have these physiques here that you might see. But the idea that we can actually embrace what we have and work with that is my tribute to my mom. And I hope you'll all dance with your tribute.
I have to say in closing that I have tears in my eyes because I'm so honored to have these women join with me here on this stage. Their passion, their purpose, their why for what they do is so palpable that I can feel it. It's overwhelming to me myself. So thank you, ladies. I hope that you're leaving with some ideas of how to connect with your deeper parts of self that have gone dormant, how to really attach to your purpose, your why, to fuel yourself, to become your best self, how to learn about nutrition more so that you can actually fuel your bodies and your journeys into agelessness, and how to play and how to overcome hardship, because everyone up here is unique, but so are you. So take on the challenge, join us, and thank you for coming.